Joining us right now in the studio, Stacey Brown. She is the program and research director at the Family Tree. The local nonprofit helps families and children deal with abuse and trauma.
Stacey, thank you so much for being with us. We really appreciate it. Part of this investigation focuses on victims not feeling comfortable about coming forward. Can you discuss about how difficult that is and what you suggest and how people should, be able to work through this?
Sure. So I first want to say that abuse is still happening now. I know when we talked about what was just shown in that report, it talked about people from the past, but the abuse is still happening today, right now. And the best thing that we can do is educate ourselves. So as parents, as teachers, as coaches, and individuals in youth-serving organizations, educate themselves on what child abuse prevention is and what that looks like in the signs and symptoms, but also be ready to report. When you see something, say something.
And while we're chatting about this, we do want to say that we're putting up the resources on the screen for anyone who needs them, so definitely check that out there. While we're doing that, Stacey, talk to us about potential victims out there right now, who are watching this all unfold, and they're afraid to speak up, they're afraid to come forward. What do you suggest in terms of where they start? A family member? I know that's different for everybody,
So I would say that as adults, we need to step up. If we see something, we need to say something. We need to report that. Notably, this month is Child Abuse Prevention Month. And so now is the perfect time to educate ourselves on the signs and symptoms of abuse, what that looks like, what's the stats is around that, and how to prevent it. You can do that by going onto our website, which is www.familytreemd.org, and clicking onto our Child Abuse Prevention tab.
Let's talk more about prevention. What are the signs of abuse that we could all look out for as adults? And the report says that priests would prey on the children who trusted them and children who were timid or came from troubled homes. Like, how do we look out for these signs?
I think the biggest sign and or misconception is the stranger danger, right? We were taught coming up, stranger danger. Well, that's not the case when it comes to child sexual abuse. It's usually a friend, a family member, a colleague, a coach, someone close to the family. And what happens is that person is generally very charming, and they use that charm to groom the family and gain the trust of the child and or adult.
How do we stop that cycle?
I think education, really providing education around what child abuse looks like and how to help prevent that with all of the signs and symptoms. Really looking at some of the characteristics. Like if there's an adult who is around children all the time socially who are not within their age group, that could be something to look at. So things such as that.
All right, speaking of education, thank you, Stacey Brown,
thank you
for stopping by. And we have some links and other information that you will find useful on our website, WBALTV.com.